All right, everybody. So we are going through the atmosphere questions, starting with number one. Number one says, which bar graph best shows the percentage by volume, right? By volume, this key word, of the elements that make up the Earth's hydrosphere. Okay. Where am I going to find out about the elements that make up the hydrosphere, right? The elements that make up the hydrosphere. What page, everybody? We're going to go to page 1. All right. And here on page 1 of the bottom of this chart is going to show me about the Earth's hydrosphere and the elements that make it up. And so when I'm taking a look, one of the things that I'm just seeing right off the top, right here, is I see the hydrosphere. And the hydrosphere, oxygen is making up 33%, hydrogen is making up 66%, and some other elements are making up the 1%. So I'm going to choose a bar graph that represents hydrogen, oxygen at 33%, hydrogen at 66%, and the other at 1%. When I take a look and go back, oops, right here. When I go back and I take a look, I notice oxygen that has 33%, right? And hydrogen at 66%, it is choice A. When you look at all four, right? Remember, oxygen was 33%, right? Which is around here. Hydrogen is a little above 60% and 1% for the others. All right. It definitely can't be C and it definitely can't be D, right? And remember, hydrogen is 66%, right? That hydrogen was 66% according to, so that's why it can't be B, because right here it's showing that it's less than 50. That's why choice 1 is the correct answer. All right, number 2. Number 2 says outgassing a water vapor, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen initially, keyword initially, formed in Earth's early blank, right? So all of these gases, and we don't see oxygen, right? Because in our notes, we stated right here that in Earth's early what? Atmosphere contained no oxygen. So those other gases, right, that was released from volcanic eruptions, they help to form Earth's early atmosphere. Choice D. All right, number 3. Number 3 says the subtropical jet streams are fast-flowing air currents located in the atmosphere about 10 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. In which layer of the atmosphere, this key, layer of the atmosphere, are the subtropical streams located, right? So what page of the reference tables talks about the layers of the atmosphere? Page 14, and I'm looking for 10 kilometers. Remember that number, 10 kilometers. So when I'm going to page 14 of my reference tables, and I'm looking for 10 kilometers, right? If we take a look, remember the kilometer side is on the left, mile side is on the right. And so I'm looking for 10. And so sea level 0 here. Each line here is going up by 10, 20, 30, so forth. So I'm only looking on this side. So when I look at 10, when I'm looking what layer of the atmosphere I'm in at 10 kilometers, I'm in the troposphere. So my correct answer, oops, sorry. My correct answer is choice C. Number 4. Number 4 says, which two elements make up the greatest percentage? Make up the greatest percentages by mass. Keyword mass in Earth's crust. So, which two elements make up the greatest percentage by mass in Earth's crust? So, the keywords I'm seeing: elements, mass, and the Earth's crust. What page of the reference table am I looking at that talks about the Earth's crust and the elements in the Earth's crust? Well, we got to go to page 1. All right. And when we go to page 1, we go back to our bottom chart, and I see the Earth's crust right here and the elements. Now, when we go back to the question said, which two elements make up the greatest percentage by mass in the Earth's crust? So when I take a look, I'm going by mass, right? Percent by mass. And the two top elements that are highest in percentage by mass is oxygen and silicon. Oxygen and silicon. So when I take a look, and I see my correct answer is choice B. All right, number 6, it says, in which two Earth regions is oxygen the second most abundant element by volume? In which two Earth regions is oxygen the second most? So I'm going to go to page 1 of my reference tables. I'm going to go to oxygen. And in oxygen, I need to know, where is oxygen the second most by volume? All right. It can't be the Earth's crust because oxygen is the most, right? We're looking for where oxygen is the second. When I look at the hydrosphere, oxygen only has 33%. Is there an element that has higher? Yes, there is. Hydrogen has higher. So that means oxygen is the second most right here. Where else is oxygen the second most? Well, when I look in the troposphere, and what do I see? The most in the first most in the troposphere is nitrogen. That's the first most. What is the second most element? Once again, I see it is oxygen with 21%. And so that's why the hydrosphere and the troposphere are going to be your correct answer. And that means that it is choice B, hydrosphere and troposphere. All right, remember, you can pause, rewind in this video if you just need a repeat of it again. All right, number 7. Number 7 says, the pie graph below shows the elements comprising of Earth's crust in percent by mass. In percent by mass. It says, which element is represented by the letter X? Which element is represented by the letter X? All right. So when I'm taking a look, letter X gives me the second most, right? I know it's the second most in this pie chart. All right. And it says this chart represents the Earth's crust in percent by mass. So if element X is the second most, I have to look for the second most element by mass in the Earth's crust. So when I'm taking a look, and I'm going to Earth's crust. All right, the Earth's crust that I'm looking at by mass, and which one is the second most by mass? And it is silicon. That is the second most. So when I go back, and the correct answer, silicon, is choice A. Number 8. What is inferred to be the main source of the free oxygen which first entered the Earth's atmosphere? All right. So this is something that we've actually learned in our notes. This is for number 8. If you go to your notes, and remember what we said, well, where did oxygen first arrive, right? And, according to scientist theory, oxygen first arrived into Earth from plants, So the best answer that talks about that is going to be choice B. Number 9. Let's zoom in for number 9. So number 9 says, air temperature of 95 degrees Celsius most often exists in which layer of the atmosphere? All right, once again, I see layer of the atmosphere. What page of the reference table am I going to look at, everybody? I'm looking at page 14. So let's turn to page 14, okay? And when I look at page 14, remember what the question says. If you look at your sheet, the question said we're looking for an air temperature of 95 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go to my reference tables. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm going to go to my reference tables and I'm going to look for 95 degrees Celsius. So 95 degrees Celsius looks like it would be somewhere right around here, right? Very close to 100. So I'm going to move my finger up. I'm going to move my finger up. And let me just write it all over again. Because 95 degrees Celsius is right here. I'm going to move my finger up until it reaches this black line to see what level layer that I'm in. And 95 degrees Celsius right here. Boom, right here. All right. So what layer of the atmosphere am I located according to when I reach the black bold line? The thermosphere. So the correct answer, everybody, is choice D. All right, choice D. All right, number 10. Number 10 says, as the altitude increases within the Earth's stratosphere, this is very key. We're only talking about the stratosphere. Air temperature generally does what? So I'm only looking at the stratosphere to see what is temperature doing only in the stratosphere. So what page am I looking at, everybody? Page 14, and I'm only going to focus just on the stratosphere. All right. So when I'm starting at the bottom of the stratosphere, which is right here, let me choose a different color. All right. Blue, blue, blue. Okay. Starting right here and only focusing on the stratosphere, and the stratosphere ends right here. Now, as my altitude increases, right? So as the black bold line is going up, what's happening to my temperature? Well, one thing I'm noticing, as the black bold line is going up, it's generally moving to the right. What happens to temperature when you move to the right? Temperature is increasing. When it goes from negative 55 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius, temperature is increasing. There's not at one point in this line where the black line is moving to the left. It is always moving to the right as it's going upwards from the bottom of the stratosphere to the top of the stratosphere. So my correct answer is going to be, let me clear it, is going to be increase only. It's going to be increase only. All right, number 11. All right, number 11 says, in which atmospheric layer, once again, I see atmospheric layer, that's going to let me know my answer, there's a good chance my answer may be on page 14. Which atmospheric layer is most water vapor found? Where's most of it found? So I'm going to go to page 14. Let me go to page 14 of the reference table. Let me make this a little bit brighter. All right. Page 14 reference table. And I'm only going to look where it talks about the water vapor. So cha-ching, the water vapor right here. Now, when I'm looking at this chart, right, I know the most amount of water vapor is where the concentration is at 40. All right, let me zoom in. All right, where the concentration's at 40. So when the concentration's at 40, if you take a look, the line is right here on the bottom, right? That's where we get the most amount of water vapor. So if the line is at the bottom where we get the most amount of water vapor, what layer am I still in? If it's telling me I'm getting the most amount of water vapor on the ground, that is essentially what this is telling me. I'm going to get the most amount of water vapor at the lowest altitude. All right. So what layer of the atmosphere am I still in? Right? I'm still, even if, even at the ground, right? That means that I still have to be in the troposphere. And so the correct answer is choice A. Is choice A. All right, number 12. As altitude increases from the tropopause to the mesopause, the atmospheric temperature will do what? So as the altitude increases from the tropopause to the mesopause, the atmospheric temperature will do what? So I'm going to go to page 14, and I'm going to find the tropopause and the mesopause. All right? So when I take a look, I'm starting the tropopause, right? So to the mesopause, and I'm going to highlight my black line, my black line. So my starting point, the tropopause is right here, and then the mesopause is right here. So what is the line doing, right? As it goes from the tropopause to the mesopause? Well, when I'm looking, I see the black line is moving to the right, right? Then the black line, once it gets to this point, it moves to the left. When I move to the right, as it goes up, the temperature increases. When I move to the left, as it's going up, the temperature decreases, right? So right here, the temperature is increasing. And when I move to the left, the temperature is decreasing. All right. So what answer shows me that the temperature is increasing first, and then once it gets to this point, it is decreasing? Let's take a look, right? The temperature increases, then decreases. The one that shows that is choice D. And remember, you have the opportunity, if you're confused, to rewind. You can rewind and replay it again and again. And number 13 says, which element has the highest percentage by volume in the troposphere? Right? The troposphere, when I'm looking for the element, so I see keyword, I see which element has the highest percentage of volume in the troposphere. I'm taking a look at page 1. Because page one is going to talk to me about the page 1 is going to talk to me about the troposphere, right, which is right here, and the elements in the troposphere. And the question stated, if I go back, the question for number 13 is say which has the highest percentage by volume. By volume. So the highest percentage, which one has the highest percentage by volume? When I'm looking, I see 78% right here. Which element is 78% in the troposphere? Nitrogen. And so the correct answer is nitrogen. All right. There goes your videos for today. All right. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, content coming your way. Other than that, be blessed, everybody. Until next time.